It's been so long.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fourtress of. My name is Oscar. I'll be one of your hosts today. With me, per usual, are your three other hosts who will now introduce themselves in this cool way.
What's up? It's me, Alex Peterson, coming at you live from Brooklyn.
Well, now I have to match that energy right there.
It's your boy, Brian Williams.
Also coming at you live in Virginia somewhere.
Brian pre-recorded all this somehow miraculously. Magic.
Hello. This is Devin coming at you from good old Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Rocky Top.
Coronavirus has turned me into Mr. Worldwide. Get a pitbull, dude.
Oh my god!
And by Mr. Worldwide, I mean from like Virginia to Tennessee, and that's basically it.
Yeah. When did you get to Tennessee? I didn't know this.
Yeah. Down there with my family right now.
Oh, I thought they were in Virginia. My bad.
They are. They're all over. So
they're everywhere. Devin's got a lot of family.
Dope.
Because like when my lease ended up, I just stopped living in DC. So now I just like hop between houses. Okay, I'm basically a bum on my family.
All right, cool. Thank you for joining us again. Here on the Fourtress of, we are a podcast and we talk about movies and video games and some TV and some other cool artsy stuff. Mostly pop culture stuff that we hope that you like to listen to. And if any of this seems completely irrelevant to you, don't worry, because we are going to hop in our DeLorean and catch up to your present day whenever that may be in a few weeks. And we just all do this every week so that we can all stay in touch, because like the rest of the world, we are quarantined and self-isolated, so we don't get to hang out in person. So this is our way of keeping together. It's very sad. It's very sad. But maybe it's looking up in like a 6 months or so or something.
I was about to say, looking up, we're about to go into a second lockdown.
I don't know if we're looking about that. Yeah, time to hunker down some more.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So, like last week, and like we're gonna go for the rest of these episodes, most likely. We're gonna start with news, and then we're gonna dive into our main topic, and then we'll see what happens from there. So, you guys ready to do some news talk?
News talk.
Oh, I didn't come up with a dumb theme this week. I forgot. News time. It's news. That's it. We're done. First big news story this week. Oh, guys, it's your favorite. It's Snyder Cut News of the Week time. It's Justice League time.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna try to make this recurring as often as I can.
What are you gonna tell me this time? Does Snyder decide to make it 7 hours this time?
No, it is apparently locked that 150 unseen footage is apparently 150 minutes.
Oh my.
Of unseen footage, which clocks it, I think, just over 4 hours.
Why don't they just call it like a sequel at this point and just make it in like, I don't even know why it's why even call it the same movie, dude? Like,
it's gonna be interesting. I want to watch it, but I don't know what to expect.
Do you think you could? Is it going to be in addition to the whole movie, or is it just going to be 150 minutes?
No, like I think it's going to be like intertwined with his original, whatever he had originally filmed of the movie.
Gotcha. I would love to see the original theatrical release and then his Snyder's cut.
There is no theatrical release. Right?
Wait, what?
Because like the one that came out in theaters, he's come out and said a lot of that footage is not his shit. That was stuff that Joss Whedon came in and redirected and put new stuff in. So that's why he hasn't even seen that movie, because he's like, none of that stuff is mine. That's not my movie. Whatever. It's all my name's on it, but I didn't direct that movie. Whatsoever. It's fine.
Interesting.
And so
Zack Snyder okay?
I don't know.
Is everything good at home?
I mean, no, his daughter took her own life, so.
Oh no, that's true.
Yeah.
Is that what the Zack Snyder said?
Yeah, so that's how that all
isn't that why
started.
he left?
Yeah, well, that's what Warner Brothers used to cover up the fact that they were firing him, was the fact that he left the project to deal with that family matters and stuff.
Which probably would have been a pretty small thing in the grand scheme of timing of release, but they're just like, we're gonna go ahead and let you stay home.
Yeah. So they released a new picture of Deathstroke. They already said the Joker is going to be in it again, but apparently for 4 minutes, which is like one scene. So I'm like, I don't know what's happening with this movie. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be 4 hours. I'll watch all 4 hours, and that'll be it. That's our Snyder Cut Justice League news time news.
We need a jingle.
We
I'm
do.
here.
Yeah, we need something for that. Yeah.
I'll re-edit that. I'll just say Snyder Cut over and over again on a loop. In other weird things that are I'm not sure are still happening, but apparently are. Ryan, you might know a little about this. The Halo TV series that is apparently still coming. It's filmed. It's filming.
I don't know nothing about that shit.
The big news with that was that Jen Taylor, the original voice of Cortana, is back as the voice of Cortana, which I thought was pretty cool for people of the fans of that.
Absolutely.
But because they had not brought her in the project at all. They had Natasha Michelone. She was casted as her. She was casted as Halsey, who is the one that created her, I believe, right? She created Cortana.
Yeah.
So she was playing both. They were planning on having her play both her and Cortana, but now apparently because of COVID stuff happening, the scheduling didn't work, so she had to leave. She couldn't finish the Cortana part, so they brought back Jen Taylor to do Cortana. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
That's pretty
Get a
cool.
little bit of best of both worlds on that.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Devin's probably a little bit more into that than I am.
Yeah,
I play Halo multiplayer. I don't care about the lore.
And I have not. I have not even heard of that show. So
I will probably not watch it. But I know
think
people
it's
are
a
excited.
Mini-series? I honestly don't know.
I would watch it. I would watch it. Yeah.
More power to people that are into that lore. That lore is pretty boring in my opinion.
All the live action Halo stuff has been really bad. Like there was one with like the girl from Narnia, and she was like, her and like I don't know. There were like some young kids.
Narnia.
So yeah, like the sister, like the older sister.
Oh, I didn't know it. I didn't know any of this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw like
but anyway.
part of one, but I fell asleep. I don't know. It was like a training or something. I was like, this is.
They do like a whole hour, and they wait for like the drop of Master Chief, like it's like the big reveal, right? And then when Master Chief comes in, he looks like a shitty cosplayer of Master Chief. Like the armor looks like it was like plastic, like styrofoam. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is horrible.
Gosh. Because it was plastic styrofoam. They just found a dude with the Master Chief suit and was like, hey man, you wanna be on TV?
Yeah, and they just put him in there. So I don't know. Yeah, live action definitely could be improved, I think, but there's a lot of potential there.
Sure.
So,
I mean,
great.
people love it, and there's a lot of probably cool stuff in there. I don't know. You would know the best, but I just thought that was cool because, especially in Hollywood, you don't get a lot of original voice actors getting to play their roles when it comes to big budget movies or TV of the same property. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that Scooby-Doo
which
movie.
I don't understand, especially if she was literally. I don't know if they're going to use her face as Cortana, or if like I don't know how they're going to do it because. Cortana looks like a person, doesn't she?
Yeah, I wouldn't understand. I don't understand in big budget film and why you don't use voice actors from art if they're not playing like an actual character that needs to like be on set or something like on the silver screen. What's the harm in using voice actors from video games or other media that they've been in? The Scooby-Doo movie that recently came out that turned into a quarantine movie. They decided to, instead of getting all the voices that have been voices for these characters for 30 years, they decided to pick a bunch of random A-list actors, which you have to spend a lot more money on. And it doesn't even have that feel of what you're trying to go for in the first place.
Right. And also because kids, because I'm like, usually it's to pull people to come see it with a name. Kids don't give a fuck or know who these people are.
Yeah.
And I'm
what
sure
are you talking about?
I don't know the numbers of that movie, but that movie was terrible. And I think it was mostly terrible because it had no soul to it because it was just a bunch of Zac Efrons on set just doing their poorest version of voice acting. I don't know.
I feel like that's a big thing in Hollywood. Like it's like they just think that it's kind of like a conservative approach to making movies, right? It's like, oh, if we get this many big actors in, then we'll get this much back. But it's like I honestly, some of the best movies you ever see are the ones where you don't even know who the lead like who the actors are.
New faces.
So I don't know. Like I think they should take more chances with
but they do. But then you get movies like that second Blade Runner that came out, even though it had massive people in it, people didn't go see that movie and it made no money. They're never going to make another one like that ever again.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess it always goes down to just a bunch of suits in the room talking about what do the kids want? The kids don't want Zac Efron. They don't care about Zac Efron. Like, I'm sorry.
But we'll see. I'm excited that happened because I know there are a lot of fans that are happy about that news.
Absolutely.
So
I love that choice. Great choice.
That's a win for that. So that's cool. Real quick, next news story. This is real quick because I know none of you guys watch any of those CW superhero shows like Supergirl or The Flash.
No.
I think I'm the only person that still watches that crap. They are in production of another show called it's a Wonder Girl TV series. I only brought this up because it is the first Latina-led superhero movie series
Oh wow.
ever, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Because I don't know if you guys know about this. Supergirl, the show was canceled, so this is gonna be its last season. So it's cool, and I was like, that's dumb because why are you getting rid of like the only female-led superhero show in this
Right.
universe? So it's cool that they have another one. I hope it's not they're like we needed another girl and we're just replacing one for the other. I hope not.
So is
I
it?
don't want to
it's-
say no.
I know, yeah.
It's Supergirl. You said.
Supergirl was canceled.
And
yeah.
what's
No,
this?
Wonder
So
Girl.
this one's gonna
This
be
is
Wonder
Wonder
Girl.
Girl.
Who's
She's
Wonder
taking
Girl?
apparently she takes over like a Wonder Woman-esque mantle.
Ah,
She is Amazonian and Brazilian.
okay.
So
I mean,
I was like, oh, it's pretty cool.
Wonder Woman stock is high right now. Okay, that's
It's
a
true.
yeah.
That's a
That's
good-
like
that's a good,
people want more of it.
Strategy.
So we'll see. I like that those shows are getting canceled because I'm sick of watching. There's like 8 of them. I can't.
Oof.
I watch them in the background at this point.
Sounds
I
like
felt
a
the
lot to
same
keep up
thing
with.
about the Netflix ones, the Marvel ones.
I know
Yeah.
they're gonna do the same old. They'll give it the same old CW treatment where they spend more time
Yep.
in a damn coffee shop than they actually spend, in cool scenes. Like, Oscar, I know I forget
Devin,
because I fucking hated
did
Smallville
you see some of that show? How do you know that so well?
because
He's been burned before.
my dad and my brother would watch Smallville and The Flash, and I'm like, do they ever actually like does Barry Allen ever actually use his super speed for anything else other than to just get around the town quickly to talk to other people and cry? Same fucking thing in Smallville. Smallville, all the Superman ever did was just use his super speed
You don't
alone
talk
to just get around the town
negatively about
quick.
Smallville. That is blasphemy. I'll kill you.
So, okay, Oscar, spot the lie. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong,
Zod's here.
but I'm not gonna
Zod's
say
here.
you're right
Let me,
either.
let me go talk to all my friends one at a time and just cry about it, and then not actually fight Zod for the whole episode. It's like, God damn it, man! Just shoot him with your laser. I don't know. Anyway,
Shoot him with your
CW
laser
superhero
eyes.
shows will always be what they are.
Yeah,
So-
they are. They've got good moments. I do appreciate a lot of the moments. There are a lot of weird nerdy stuff, and I like the crossovers that they do once a year. I would say if anyone wanted to watch any of that, watch the yearly crossovers because those are where they spend the most money and it's the coolest stuff. It's like the Avengers, but much smaller budget. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, they're week to week is just more of the same. But it's diversity, so it's kind of cool, and hopefully it.
Yeah, that's
we'll see
always
what
great.
Mhm.
All right. Real quick, our last news story because we play games here. We do that. We play games
I
whenever
play
we can.
games.
Every once in a while.
Here
The
and there.
PS5 and the Xbox Series X, they came out. They came out.
That is a thing that's happened since we last
and
talked. I completely
none
forgot.
of us play them or have them.
Wow. We're not
I
at
don't-
that point of media where we get free shit. So
Yeah, no, we're not.
Yeah.
I don't
Also,
even-
it's like
I don't
We
even
can
have
get there, though.
plans to get one. Like every other one, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get this new console. I'm
Yeah.
like definitely not in a rush at the
No, me neither.
yeah, especially because you hear all those problems that people are having early on.
Absolutely.
It's like I
Yep,
want them kinks
yep.
to come out, and so
Yeah.
and then I'll wait a
Yeah.
little. It's fine.
There's also so many games that I'm still invested in right now on PS4 that I have yet to finish. So I'm gonna
Right,
just
yeah.
take my time on those for a little bit.
Did want to bring that up because it was a big thing. But yeah, like I said, none of us play them or have them. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
my
exciting
backlog is
stuff,
looking
though.
pretty bad already. So
it's gonna get even worse. It's gonna get even worse. Oy, oy, oy.
I feel like Xbox is going to get murdered this generation because, like, just from looking at my social media, like, everybody's hype about the PS5, and I only had like maybe one person I know that bought the Xbox, and that's a
they
very
don't have any games. They
they're
need
Yeah.
games.
going
Like-
kind of like a Sega route, but without going bankrupt, where they're looking more into, you know what I mean, though? Where
That was like backhanded compliment.
it's actually it's a really interesting thing that I think not enough people are talking about in their use of things like Xbox Game Pass and how they're not super
Yo, that's
super intense about how many consoles they sell right now. That's not what they're
Right.
trying to do right now. They're really trying to focus on creating this like
They're becoming Netflix.
Stadia, yeah, almost a Netflix for video games. They're trying to make an online service for video
Oh
games.
my god,
that-
how mad do you think GameFly is right now?
Oh, GameFly's done for. There's no way, dude. Who the fuck uses GameFly at this point? And I mean, like the games that they put on there, are, like really good games. Like what just came
Yeah.
out on there recently that was like a fairly new game that came out. And I
yeah,
was
they
like,
got everything, right? I mean, I
It
don't
is-
have an Xbox, but my wife's little brother does, and every time we're over there, I'm like, oh my, you can play all these games for free?
and they have it on PC as well. So like, I don't have an Xbox.
Right.
I haven't had an Xbox for years and years and years. But like, I have like, what's that fucking game that Control? And like, I
Oh,
don't
that looks sick.
play Control on PS4, but I can get on my PC right now. And like, that's dope.
I
And
do
that's a
appreciate they
Mhm.
have a way better like backwards compatibility platform going on for
Yeah.
them, which I do appreciate and like because I hate the fact that I still have to keep a PS3 around if I ever want to play any of those
Right.
old games.
No, so y'all
Yeah.
need to
So,
watch Xbox. They might not be doing well on the console sales, and I know quarantine and
Yep.
COVID maybe won't help that either. But look at where they end up maybe in like 2 years. They might end up dominating its own space.
Hmm.
They're not trying to
Right.
compete anymore.
That's
Mhm.
true.
I didn't know
Yeah.
you could play those games on PC. That's really
Yep.
smart.
Or like when Halo comes
Yeah.
out, Halo's going to come out on PC as well. I'll be able to play it without an Xbox.
Oh, boom.
Yeah.
Hype about that.
So that is the one good thing about Microsoft being your backer. So
Right.
they got everything.
You're right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited. Excited to play. Probably the one game I want to play and get first would be that Miles Morales Spider-Man game.
It looks so
I'm
good.
very
Yeah.
excited about
Yes,
that.
yes,
It looks real
yes.
good.
Yeah.
I could get it on PS4, but I'd rather just wait.
Yeah.
Did anybody play the Spider-Man game on PlayStation 4?
I did. Yeah.
That was like one of the best games the past 3 years.
I
Yeah.
still haven't played it. I bought it for $10. Like
You haven't
randomly
played
at my-
anything.
I really have not. I don't play video games, guys. I'm a fake gamer. I'm a fake gamer. I don't
Just
know.
play Sonic every couple
You
months.
play Sonic every
That's all
couple
I do in
months.
Mass
Yeah.
Effect.
You still play Mass Effect?
I probably will very
Oh,
soon.
nice.
So on the PS5, there's a game called, I think it's going to be the next game that you guys hate me for playing. It's called Demolition All-Stars,
I saw
where
that.
Oh,
It's
God.
it looks a lot
So
like Rocket. It looks like
Rocket
Rocket
League
League mixed with
2.0.
like Twisted Metal or something like that. I don't know.
Oh,
It looks
interesting.
dumb and fun. So I'm probably going to play that every day for the next 20 years.
You'll be the only one. I feel like it's gonna be like Fall Guys. It'll be cool for like a month, and then it's gonna die out. Then no one's gonna
Yeah,
play it ever
you're,
again.
you're probably right,
Right.
but I'll be that one guy that's still alive.
On the top of the leaderboards. Let's go, boys.
All right. Well, that's the news, guys. We did it. Another week of news.
Yay.
We did it. Congrats. That's our sad theme. It's just sadder than when it first started.
Yeah, nothing else massive happened recently.
Right. Which
No,
means
nothing else
that,
at all.
Nothing. Shut up, Devin. Which means that we can now move on to our main topic of the week. But guys, there's a problem because we're in the same fortress that we were last week. We're trapped, and which means we're still in the fortress of
The Matrix.
Matrix,
The Matrix.
sequels,
Reloaded,
Reloaded.
and also Revolutions.
Revolutions.
Reloaded and Revolutions and all this
It
stuff.
should be called
Yeah.
Revelation, but it's called Revolutions for whatever. Okay.
Is it Revolution? What is it
No,
called?
because it starts over, Brian. It's a revolution.
It's a revolution.
The sun goes around
Revolutions.
again.
I don't know. There's
All
a lot
right,
of-
yes. So everyone,
like
we
I
are
always say that wrong.
we're finishing our Matrix talk part 2. So today we will be discussing the Matrix Reloaded, the Matrix Revolutions. I did bring up and watch a full playthrough of the Enter the Matrix video game.
No, why did you
So
do that to
snap.
yourself?
I skimmed through it. I watched the cutscenes because there's like an hour of actual film cutscenes in that game
yeah.
that brings a lot of backstory, which we'll talk about, and it's actually really cool.
That's dope.
So yeah, spoilers for all of the 3 of those things. Pause this if you haven't seen this nearly 20-year-old movie, and then come back and listen to us idiots talk about it. I want to start. We're starting with Reloaded. I want to bring it. I feel like we should just get the bad crap out of the way. Can we please talk about the architect first, please?
That scene is probably one of the worst scenes
Concordantly,
in
these
television.
feet-
with the screens on the
Transfer
back
process
and him
left
yelling, and Keanu Reeves just
At one point, I wrote
atrocious.
I wrote it in my note.
unequivocally.
At one point, he literally calls him an old white prick. At one point,
Oh, that's so funny.
I was like, is that what he said? What the fuck?
Oh gosh.
Oh my god. Yeah, no,
was
that scene
hilarious.
is exposition to the max, and it's a lot to happen in a 2 hour at the end of a 2-hour movie. It's a lot to
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
Granted, I will say for both of these movies, not as bad as when I saw them as a child. I
Yeah.
understood what the
Yeah.
fuck he was saying for the
Yeah.
most part than I was as a kid, where I was like, no, go back to the punchy. What is this crap?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I understood like
exactly.
a little bit more of of that scene in particular. I feel like after a certain point in the second movie, they just take all the theoretical, like scientific knowledge that they have in the first movie and just like try to like twist it around and make it as
Yeah.
confusing as possible to make it interesting. And it's just so like frustrating and dumb.
Well, that's what I feel like. I feel like this one, it got lost. Like the Matrix got lost up its own asshole. Like it's like, oh, we're so cool and original, and you know what else is going to double down on that? Just fucking with everyone, then going a step further. Like it kind of hit me in that scene of course in the scene in the end where it's like, wait, what? Like this makes no sense. And then but it made sense in a certain way because it's like it's not what you expected, right? It's kind of like they wanted you to like the Matrix, the reality that you thought was reality versus, Matrix, it was only just another level of reality that and then the actual reality was another level. It's just
My
like,
head
what
hurts.
the fuck? Yeah.
So let's get a little synopsis about kind of what the second movie is kind of about for the audience so they kind of know.
Right. Yeah, okay. Let's so at the end of Matrix 1, Neo's the one, he's a god basically. So start of Matrix 2. It's been 6 months, I think they say.
Yeah.
3 or 6 months, 6 months
Yeah,
later. Yeah,
yeah.
so it's been 6 months. Neo is even more badass. He's more control of his Supermaniness. He does whatever the fuck he wants. He doesn't care. Who cares? They all wear cool sunglasses. They wear black trench coats. And they get a message basically saying the machines are gonna blow up Zion. They're coming very, very fast, very soon, like tomorrow. And so Neo, Trinity, Morpheus basically are on a mission to beat them, protect them in the second movie, and it's where you get a lot of really long and kind of boring conversations with the Oracle comes back. They introduce the architect, the creator of the Matrix. You get a lot of this backgroundy stuff. You get introduced to the Merovingian, who we'll talk about, who is
That's
kind
the
of a
Fren- the
complete
Frenchman,
fucking
right?
waste of time.
Yeah.
They introduce the coolest concepts there, and they do nothing with them.
You're right.
Look at this piece of cake. I wrote this.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
It's like wiping your ass with silk. I love it.
Right. And so, yeah, they're just on a chase. Eventually, they discover that they need to get a key, and the key man. I was tired, guys.
There's two dudes with dreads, but they're white people and they're ghosts. And
they're
ghosts?
ghosts,
Yeah,
and there's
there's
cool
werewolves
vampires
and
and
stuff?
werewolves,
Like,
and we'll
what?
talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
Werewolves, vampires.
We'll get to it. And then at the end of the movie, Trinity dies. Neo saves her though, so they're even. They kiss, and then
Fireworks.
the other subplot is that Smith is out, but he wants to get free still, and then he takes over a man's body, and there's a cliffhanger.
Dun, dun, dun.
There's literally to
That's
be
the
continued.
That's the Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah.
Or to be
Matrix.
concluded, rather.
Ugh.
Best
Just-
cliffhanger.
Copying himself.
I remember
everywhere and
seeing
corrupting
that
the
because it
system.
was right like in theaters as a kid.
Yeah.
And then the cliffhanger happened right after that architect scene. I just look at my dad. I was like, "What the fuck just happened? What happened? What just happened?"
Imagine feeling that robbed.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh man.
it was just like, oh, that was a long 20 minutes of that movie. Just
Yeah.
that I had no idea what happened.
I felt we were gonna get to
Yeah.
some pretty theoretical things, and that's why I kind of want to get a synopsis out the way first before we get too much into the architect talk. Because
Right.
what sucks is nothing else matters in that movie except for that conversation. The whole part of that movie was to get
That's
to
what
that
I'm, oh yeah,
conversation.
that's what I'm saying. The Merovingian is a total waste of time.
It's all a waste of time. Every
Yeah.
single bit of that is a waste of time. It's just him trying to get to the point where he talks to the architect, so you figure out what the hell the Matrix
what is happening
and what the hell is
that-
outside
Yeah.
the Matrix and what
Right.
that is as well. And it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically the Matrix 2. It's there's a lot of cool shit, but that's pretty much the plot points of that movie. I think. I
Just
think I hit
just
all
watch
of
the
them.
action sequences. That's all you really
And
came to this
then
movie for.
Matrix Revolutions, which came out like 6 months later in theaters. They were both released in 2003. This movie has even less plot than the second one, in my opinion. This movie is mostly we'll talk about it. For me, this movie is mostly mech fight for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then super anime fight for another 20 minutes. But the main plot is that Smith is out. He tries to kill Neo. That's a subplot. Zion's about to die.
The
Neo's like-
machines arrive, so they're like,
Yeah, it's mostly just the war. It's a war
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in a way. It's a war movie
The
for
final
humanity's
fight down.
last life. And then Neo has to do some Deus Ex Machina save the day shit, basically.
Yeah.
I have
Smith
to do
takes
this.
over the Matrix. Neo fights Smith in I still don't know if that last fight is cool or not.
No,
it's
CG
cool.
looks god awful now.
Dragon Ball Z
then-
ripoff.
And
It's very
then
Dragon Ball Z.
Neo saves the day by letting Smith engulf him, which then gets Smith deleted, saving the Matrix. And then they saved humanity because the machines back off because that was the deal, which we'll get into it later.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then the Matrix revolves again. Yay.
Reloads.
And
That one
and
should
it
be called
ends.
Reloaded.
And it ends. So yeah, that's oh man, these movies are again not as bad, I will admit. They were not. I thought it would be worse.
I
thought
think
it would
they're
be worse.
worse than what I remember as a kid.
Oh,
because I think
no,
I like
really?
the action more. No, because now that I think the whole thing was I never really understood the Matrix that hard. Like I understood the first one, sure, but then the second
Right.
and third one were kind of lost on me. And now that I've
Yeah.
actually taken the time to like think about it and write notes about it and kind of understand it, I'm like, this shit is convoluted as fuck for no reason.
Oh,
This is
yes.
stupid.
Yeah.
Like, this is a bad like. I can't even imagine what the fourth one's gonna be like because this is a bad series.
Well,
We'll
this is-
dive into that. I do have some theories, but
I feel like if
yeah,
you just don't even look at the second one, it's just like it's like a filler episode. If the whole thing's just like a sci-fi anime, the second movie
Absolutely.
is just a
True,
filler
true.
episode for the whole series, which is
Yeah.
together the whole series is great. I think.
I'm telling you guys, they just like they had, this is what happened. The Wachowskis had everybody coming up to them since The Matrix 1. We're like, oh my God, you guys are so original, so creative. This was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Everybody going up to them for that long doing that. Okay. And then when you have to make a sequel, then they're like, well, you know what? Like, we're just so fucking smart. So we'll just make like, we'll just
they made like
convolute
8
the shit out of it at
sequels
the
in
end.
those 2 movies.
Like we'll just have Neo go to the end of that room and it'll just be a guy sitting in the chair. He's gonna tell him all this dumb shit.
All this
Like that's what it is. I feel like it's like this level of like, oh, we're so smart. Look at how smart we like the sniffing your own farts episode from South
I
Park.
definitely think that they, especially in that third one, by that third one, they just thought of every cool thing that they could possibly think of and threw it in that last movie.
Yeah.
They're like, we want mechs, we want a slow-mo fight, we want the Superman, we want him to fly, we want machines, we want it's just like there's so much.
Right.
Just like they're like everything that sci-fi and cyberpunk will put in this movie.
Yeah.
In these,
So-
it's like
Since we're talking about them like all as a whole,
Yeah.
we can talk about how it came out like 6 months after the second one came out, to the point where like at the end of the second movie they have a trailer for the third movie.
yes,
so it
that
was
was
already
like
made
yeah.
with
really?
everything.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
So
So they
At
are
the end of the
I
credits.
yeah, the one that I watched at the end of the credits. The end of the credits scene is actually just a trailer for the third movie,
Wow.
which leads me to
kinda
believe,
cool.
of course, they filmed this at the same time.
Yeah,
I
of
think they were
course,
kinda
of course.
going for like a Harry Potter 7 and 7 Part 2 kind of movie kind of thing that J.K. Rowling did with that movie Warner Brothers, where like
Right.
they wanted to make it a full movie, but it was just going to be too damn long, so they split it up. So,
Which is crap because you could edit those fuckers down into one movie probably.
but I
Yeah,
guess the
absolutely.
Wachowskis probably didn't want to do that. They're
Absolutely.
very into their craft, so I'm assuming that they
Yeah.
wanted to keep something like that, kind of similar to the way The Hobbit did that nonsense with those
right,
3
splitting
movies.
it up into 3. Yeah.
Oh god, that was so stupid. So I guess that's why that happened, and that's what makes the third movie feel so uncanny, because it's literally just what would have normally been climax of a normal movie, but
Exactly.
the entire movie was just climax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you got to the end, which
That's
felt
really
so
true.
goofy.
That's why
Uh,
like I was saying to Devin before we started, is like I have way less notes on that third one than I did on that second one, because the third one I was like, I don't know if I have to write a note for this giant mech battle.
Right.
Cool. This is cool.
Yeah.
It would just be like, that was cool. That was
Listen,
kind of cool.
The
That was
people
kinda
agreed
cool.
with you because Matrix Reloaded made double of what Matrix Revolutions made.
It became
Oh,
became the
wow.
highest R-rated movie of all time until
Dang.
Deadpool in 2016.
Wow, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
That's
It
crazy.
made
Second
something
one.
like what 800 million, and then
Something like that. yeah.
only Revolutions only made 400 million, even though they spent almost 200 million on budget for that movie.
Well, the Reloaded definitely is a better action movie. It has the best like
Absolutely,
fight scenes
yeah.
in the whole series.
That-
Probably.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
more of an actual Matrix movie. The third one is barely even a Matrix movie at all.
Yeah,
It's
the
they're
basically
Matrix
just a
only
sci-fi
in the
movie.
Matrix 2 times.
Yeah, like,
Right.
barely at all.
And I would say, we're just gonna go into it. That first time they go into the Matrix to confront the Merovingian is a total waste of fucking time.
Yeah. Well, no, they
They
just
literally
do it.
don't do anything. They're like, it was like, you have to do this for me. And then Trinity just pulls a gun on his head and is like, no, fuck that. I'm getting over this movie. Let's get to the plot. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then that's it. You
Yeah,
never
he's like-
see him ever again.
Well, they just wanted to give them their Matrix send off. They didn't want the
They
last time
100%. They're
wanted
like,
to
we want to
be-
put them in these costumes and have a
Yeah.
fight scene for no
Just
reason.
one more time,
And have
one more
another
time.
rave, basically.
Well, because it
Yeah,
was
one more
it was a
rave.
throwback. It was like a lazy throwback to the hallway scene from the first movie, because it was like, oh, now they can walk on the ceiling and shoot at you that way. It's like, okay, and it was just it felt like somebody was trying to recreate that first scene from the first movie, but they ran out of motivation like halfway through. They're like,
Nothing's funnier
just
than
think-
watching that man do 37 backflips on all this
And still
bullshit
get
just to
shot.
get immediately shot in his back 8 times. Just the
By
useless.
every single one of them.
That part seemed a little funny because for me, they're always doing all these flips and tricks to dodge the bullets, which looks super cool. But when the bad guy does it, it just totally doesn't work for some reason.
Yeah.
I was like thinking,
It
I'm like,
looks dumb as
oh,
shit.
he's doing backflips, very Karate Kid. He's totally gonna dodge all these bullets. I bet he's gonna hide behind the corner and sneak attack somebody. But then he gets shot. I'm like, oh,
It's the movie equivalent
I
of
thought I
trying to dunk
understood
in a
these
basketball
rules.
game and then just fucking missing completely and just landing on your face. Like, come on, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, for real. It's just like,
yeah,
ugh.
yeah. I want to go back to the architect real quick because there's a lot. I want to try to explain what the fuck he's talking about in that moment.
I sat here and I
let us
worked
try.
on this shit to figure this shit because I had to figure this out because I was so confused.
So basically, Neo is the 6th Neo to have been in the Matrix. There had been
Right.
5. He says how he doesn't know how long the Matrix. He prefers to determine how long the Matrix has been around by how many times the one has shown up and the cycle has restarted. And so there have been
Right.
5 previous Neos, Neo being the 6th one, and the only one to make the decision to save Trinity and not go meet the source and restart the Matrix, which is why the movies end up, why the third movie is the way it is, because Neo makes that choice. Because I would assume it's not 100% clear that this is the first Neo that has experienced love on that level because of Trinity.
I think so.
Yes.
And so that's why he makes,
He says
It's all about the
he
love.
says the previous ones did it in like a general way, but he did it. Neo was the first one to have it specific.
right.
So,
I think everybody else chose to like save Zion because they thought I was the only choice. But Neo was like,
Right.
well, I'm in love, so
Exactly. Yeah.
Fuck the
And
people.
so I did think it was interesting, and it goes by so quick. It's so weird. I don't know. There might be the reason why people thought it was stupid because it goes by so quick, and it makes you think that you can pick up all this stuff in one go immediately. But it's like, no, it's a lot. Like he talks about how like the purpose of the one is that he goes to the source, restarts the Matrix, and then he picks 23 people to rebuild Zion, 16 females and 7 males.
I thought that was
And
really
that's how-
interesting.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. If you're not paying attention, that goes right over your head.
Yeah, so it's like they have like an agreement that they're gonna allow. I guess because they need these bodies. So
they need the humans. So I think it's like the machines want this cycle to continue over and over again, so that they'll let the humans rise up a bit just to destroy them over and over again.
So I want to talk to
Yeah.
Devin specifically about this because this is
Okay.
real heavy, and I'm gonna talk about some Mass Effect 3 spoilers.
Mass
I'm
Effect.
gonna
Oh my
that tag
God.
happen right now for people that want to talk
God.
about that. But it felt very Mass Effect 3, which kind of did the same thing where the machines would let you rise up to a certain point, and then they would kill you
right?
off because it gives
Yeah.
you that. The Oracle always talks about this illusion of choice. Is that
yeah.
the reason the other Matrix failed? Because the first one was too perfect. The second one was fine, but it just was no illusion of choice. And the one that worked now, allegedly the 6th one that's supposed to work the best, is because it gave humans the illusion of choice that made them feel like they could do something with their lives and change kind of the way things happened. And that's kind of what, so it's like, you always thought when you're in the Matrix and when you were like rejected the Matrix, you get out that you were quote unquote free.
Right.
But the thing was, you still weren't free. It was more illusion of choice to think that you were free.
Right. Exactly.
To give you your little rebellion, and then you get that little rebellion, they shut that shit down, and then you reboot. And they keep doing that over and over again until what they were trying to look for was to have 100% compliance in the Matrix, where no one wants to reject the Matrix anymore. And they just keep doing that. So that was kind of the point of the one, was to reboot the Matrix until we get to the point where no one wants to leave.
Right.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. I
boom.
didn't think about that aspect.
I had to watch the Architect's shit so many times to fucking figure this shit out.
But like, so I kind of touched on this earlier, but like I think to me that it spoke to like they were trying to take it to another level, like the whole reality versus the Matrix thing, like because the first movie is all about Neo waking up from what he thought was reality and then facing the real reality. But then this movie tells you that real reality that you thought was real actually is just another level of the Matrix, because that isn't even the reality that you thought it was, right? Like, I mean, yes, it's real life, but
it's still part of a system. It's still constructed.
Right,
That's
exactly.
interesting.
Like it's just another.
Right.
So the truth, which he then finds out is the actual truth, so far as we know, was that
That's gonna make my brain hurt. Are you saying this is a Matrix inside of a Matrix? Is that what you're about to throw at me right now?
Well, no. It's that the machines, like, I think it was taking them because Neo thought, when he woke up in the first one, he thought that this was the truth, was that Zion was established by Morpheus's predecessors and whatever. And
Right,
they
which
were fighting the machines in this war. But the true reality is that the machines were they've already done this multiple times before, and the humans had no shot. So it's
Which
like,
I do love how in the third movie the crazy train dude. Oh no, this is a thing. Oh, Sarah, this is perfect. There's a scene in Enter the Matrix. Niobe is about to jack out
That's
of
the
the
video
Matrix.
game, right?
The video game.
Man, don't use that word ever again.
That's what they say, man. They say
What,
jack
jack
in and
out?
jack out. I
Jack
don't know
out.
why. That's what they say. So yeah, quick thing, Enter the Matrix. It takes place both before and during the second movie. And so at one point, and the Wachowskis also shot over an hour worth of actual footage that was in this video game that puts a lot of context
Whoa,
in
that's
the
really
movie
cool.
that is not actually there. One cool thing, and you also get characters that aren't in the second movie at all or aren't introduced until the third movie that are in that video game.
Fuck.
So you get that crazy train dude from the third guy that keeps Neo there. He's in Enter the Matrix. He meets Niobe for a hot sec, and she's about to jack out of the Matrix, and he walks by her, and he just says 72 hours. She's like, what? He's like, that's how long Zion lasted last time. And he just walks away, and that's it. I was like,
Whoa.
what the fuck? What the fuck?
Wow.
The whole
Yeah.
Enter the Matrix footage seems very, it's like, it's so smart, but it also seems like stuff that is like cut out. It could be like a director's cut. They just chuck all that stuff in.
yeah, yeah.
Also, Niobe's a badass.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
absolutely.
that.
I
That's
love that
I
game
wanted to
because
touch
of
on that. Like, I wish Niobe and Seraph had more screen time, because Seraph was really cool.
Let's talk about Seraph, because I think there's more to Seraph than the
Yeah.
movies actually
Yeah.
say. Because like they call him like the prodigal child at one
Yeah.
point, and
Yeah.
I was like, who was Seraph like the one at one point? Like I'm
Yeah, so-
very
that's what I was
interested in
wondering.
him.
I read up on Seraph, and there's a few theories about who he used to be. So there's a theory that he used to be the one, and that he was, one of the after his physical body was like destroyed, he ended up like, after he accomplished.
No, because that
his
actually makes a lot of
purpose.
sense compared to what happens in the third movie. So keep going,
Yeah.
Devin. I think we're on the same page.
So like, he was, after he established the next Zion, I guess he returned to the Matrix and became the guardian for the Oracle. But then the Merovingians people also know him. So
Right.
I think, and they also call him Wingless at one point when they're going to
Mhm.
that bar at the first one. And then
Oh, interesting.
and then the Merovingian, that word that he calls him in French, means the angel without his wings. So I think some people think that he used to be an agent of the Matrix, and then he was like cast out. But either way, he used to, at one point it's confirmed that he did work for the Merovingian.
Right.
So at
Either
some
way,
time in
he's
his lifespan.
a special boy.
I think that he's wingless because he was the one, and then his wings were cut, and then he was like the angel or whatever of humanity, and then he had to return to the Matrix, and he worked for the Merovingian and then for the Oracle after that. So because he had to, he went through that same train station that the Merovingian controlled, so that's how the Merovingian got him to work for him for a little while.
Right.
But then eventually he broke free of that, and he went to protect the Oracle.
So how
I think
much
he's
of the
the
Matrix
one.
3 am I allowed to talk about right now?
Go for it.
I can. Okay.
Go for it.
Because I didn't even think about that until Devin just said that with the wingless angel, and then also him potentially being the one actually makes a lot of sense, considering at the end of Matrix Revolutions, for all intents and purposes, we believe that Neo's dead, that he died when he did what he
Right.
did in order to create that. And they have that very like Christianity, biblical look of where
He's
he's
Jesus.
flying
Yeah.
and up, and he has like the things that are coming out of him kind of shape wings, like these fire wings almost, as he's holding them. And then of course they all fall out of him, so now he's considered wingless. What happened was, even though he died, he still kind of exists within the Matrix, and he could be uploaded into something else.
Well, yeah, like
maybe
even
even
Oracle
potentially the
says
Matrix.
we'll probably see him again one day. So
Right.
It's like,
Yep.
Yeah.
So you might be right with Seraph being the previous
past
one.
one.
Yeah, and then he just got uploaded into the Matrix, and that might be what Keanu Reeves' position might be in the fourth.
I mean, I
movie
think
could
he
end up
was,
being.
because remember, he was always yellow, and like when he first sees Seraph in the tea shop, he's yellow. So Neo's kind of like, well, what's going on with this guy? So like, he's clear. I think he was definitely a previous one. But they never talk about that. Like they kind of leave it up to us to decide.
Right. It's like wasted lore. And I don't
It's
know.
one
just
of the
you have
things,
so much-
one of the many things they throw in these movies that don't fucking matter later, the rest of the movie.
And it's like, if they gave you an opportunity to figure that out, like actually figure that out. And I mean, I guess it gives you topics like this that we can talk about, but it's like,
Yeah, but it doesn't add anything to that movie.
I mean, it would have been cool if they did confirm that at some point, and then you have a scene with like him talking to Neo about like, oh, like, I hope you made the right choice. Like, I was too afraid to do it or something like that.
That would have been really cool. Maybe Matrix number 4.
Maybe.
Right, because I don't think things have to be that like in your face that I was the original one, like
No,
some shit like
I don't.
that.
Yeah,
But
right.
they got to give us more than what they gave us with that
Some
character.
kind of more.
That's why I think like I feel like the Wachowskis were just throwing shit at the wall and like let's just fucking throw
Something will
everything.
stick.
Who cares? Whatever. It doesn't matter.
And then we'll make it up for him.
Case in point, another thing. Why the fuck are there vampires and werewolves and ghosts in this universe? And we don't see any vampires or werewolves in this universe.
Well, we did see them. They just
about-
didn't do any vampire.
They didn't just do anything
things.
though. They just acted like men.
They just died from allegedly silver bullets.
But I did kind of like that they were like that they kind of played around with like that's why we would have legends of like werewolves and vampires and stuff, because it's like, oh, they actually did exist in a previous version of the Matrix.
It's cool,
like,
but
I kind of
that
liked
fight
it.
that Neo has with all of them is just like every other fight.
You're right.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know that those are werewolves and vampires otherwise.
Yeah, it's like, okay, like how many people keep silver bullets in their gun? I'm like, why? What? Where's this going?
Right.
Like, yeah.
I had barely made that connection when I first watched that. I was like, okay, I mean, silver bullets. They said, oh, they can't die, and I was like, okay, they can't die, whatever.
Yeah.
It shot him in the head. I was like, oh well, he's dead. So moving on.
Can we discuss the Merovingian, because like he's one of the most just aggravating. He's so aggravating. He's an aggravating character.
It's really
like,
frustrating.
I don't really think he's a great
speaking
villain.
of him, I just want to say one thing. Did anyone notice the second movie in particular that this movie is horny as fuck?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that second movie, dude.
Because it's cybergoth, dude. Cybergoths are horny as fuck.
So many
Holy
nips,
shit. I wrote
dude.
down in my notes as I was watching that movie, I think I wrote that this movie's horny as fuck like 6 times.
Yeah.
So like first
so many nips.
First it's with
So many
Neo and
nips.
Trinity, obviously, because they want to bang and they do bang. And then it's that entire rave basically looks like it turns into a weird mud orgy or whatever the fuck's happening in that cave. I like how the counselor later in the movie's like, I've never heard the city sleep so peacefully than tonight. I was like, yeah, they're all fucking tired probably. That's why. That happens. Then you meet the Merovingian and he explodes that girl's
oh my god,
vagina, vagina.
Oh, that was weird.
That's some juicy cake.
And then he meets her in the bathroom, and then his wife wants a kiss. This movie, it's like, wow, holy shit.
A lot of sex, a lot of sexual stuff. That was weird.
I just thought it was so fucking funny. I was like, I don't remember any of this.
I just didn't understand it. I remember as a kid, I was like, so she has to pee? Like, what was in that cake? Like, I don't get it.
I think because you were expecting her to like die, and then it's just like, oh, I just have to go to the bathroom. Like,
I think I originally thought that she had to shit her pants. When I was a kid, I thought that he just gave her gas. She had to shit her pants.
Or like,
I did not catch the reference.
He made a cake with lactose in it. Like, I've seen that cake before.
Yeah.
I just thought homegirl had IBS. I didn't know.
And the whole time, and this is the thing with the Merovingian. He's going off that whole time, like where she's slow eating the cake and stuff, and he's just like causality, blah blah blah, like all this bullshit. Where I was like, the movie was trying to be so smart, and I'm like, it's just like, I don't know, man. You're smelling your own farts.
He's got the worst shit to say.
Yeah. Like causality, and then she just like, I don't know. That whole like scene was just so weird.
I gotta say, I did appreciate when they brought him back as like the master of the train and the train conductor that's in there, like kind of like purgatory world. I thought that was really interesting. That there's like somebody who's in charge of like bringing people in and out of the Matrix or like handling the program's dirty work. And then the Frenchman's just kind of overseeing all of that.
It is weird that the programs want sex, though. It's weird that they're programmed like that.
Yeah,
yeah, and then they can have a kid. I was like, the people waiting at the train stop in the third one have so many human like qualities. I was like, you guys can like procreate. And it's like you loved your daughter. Like, what the fuck?
I think
what are you talking about? Like
her. I don't think they procreated. I think they just
put some ones and zeros together and then the kid came out.
And I think that's kind of the interesting part about it. Seems like we're getting pretty far into like the third one at this point, so I can talk a little bit more about how I feel about that whole thing with the Southeast Asian family that decided they were just at the train thing like, we love this little girl and she's the best. And yo, bro, aren't you a program? Yeah, but isn't she cute? I'm like, okay,
but isn't she cute?
We've
heard of this love thing, and we're all about that. So
I guess the whole thing about the Matrix evolving is that the programs and like it's kind of like AI learning AI, where they're learning more from the humans by existing around the humans, and I think that was what they were trying to get at when they were going. It was a little haphazard when they did it, but I think they were trying to get at that they're like, this is a movie series about basically love conquers all. It's one of those kind of shitty. At the end of the day, I hate that it's all cyber goth.
How shitty do you really mean amazing?
But like,
I mean, they touch on that theme a few times in the second one as well, where it's like, we actually need each other. Humans need machines, machines need the humans.
Yeah.
So we need to rebalance it. So like, and I think they end up in the third one where like only the people that want to leave the Matrix are going to be allowed to leave. So they're still going to keep up with like the human batteries afterwards.
Right.
So maybe they'll get into that in Matrix 4. But like,
I know, I do. It is a funny thing where she asked the Oracle asked the architect, he's like, do I have your word? And he's like, what am I, human? And it's like, yeah. Why don't the machines just say, yeah, sure, well, yeah, and then just blow everyone up after, like 2 seconds later?
They're not vindictive, I guess. I guess they're like, well, we have like endless amounts of time. Time is not relevant. So like, I think we could figure out another means to survive. It's whatever. Take 1,000 years.
And I think they need, because obviously they're not very creative, right? So like finding solutions to like healing the black sky shit, you're going to need human beings to help you out with that, because it's like, because clearly the machines are not creative enough to think about that stuff. So I feel maybe they're like, okay, let's give it a chance and see if we can coexist and figure it out. Although, when I was thinking about that, like I was thinking like, why wouldn't the machines just make a program, or like make their agents just go talk to like a professor of climatology or something in the Matrix and be like, well, hey, like, say if there was like this black sky thing, like how would we, maybe fix that if there's
can we suck that shit up, just kind of
and then just take it back and like use it. I don't know. Like it's I don't know. It seems like they could maybe, do more with what they were doing, but
it was a stupid ending. I'm gonna say what I said. It's a stupid ending for the exact reasons why you guys said it's a stupid ending. For the fact that Neo was like, well, I got a bargaining chip here because Agent Smith is fucking your shit up, bro. He's making it all dirty in the Matrix. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, bro. Like, can you fix that? And he's like, yeah, I'm the janitor, bitch.
Why is it a big baby face? I hate that shit. It looks stupid.
I don't know why robots love being children, dude. They did the same shit in Mass Effect.
Pure humanity. It's the most pure essence of us.
I remember watching that shit, using it as a kid. I was like, that looks dumb.
I mean, as a huge fan of 2001 Space Odyssey, that's like the ultimate transcendence in that movie. And I totally am on board with that,
Yeah. I'm going to take it back real quick because back to just the second one. I love how they switched it up, and that because usually the religious cult person is like the person that you're against, is the antagonist. But in this movie, Morpheus is like a zealot. He's like a religious nutcase, but he's the hero.
Oh, he's so cool.
Everyone's like, oh, it's fucking Morpheus. God, he keeps talking about this chosen one, all this crap.
Oh. But I was thinking I was trying to picture him like him and Niobe together before. And I guess I was trying to picture, what Lawrence Fishburne is in like the show. Have you guys seen like Blackish? He's like he's like a dad. So I'm like, trying to picture him as like that jovial kind of guy, like before he went to the Oracle and got his life mission.
Oracle changed my
Blackish
shit forever.
Is a prequel to The Matrix.
My man used to be a pee.
Niobe goes up to him at the dance and she's like, Morpheus, you used to dance. He's like, there are some things that never change.
Morpheus' dialogue makes me laugh throughout these last two movies. Oh my God.
I think that's one of the things that makes me dislike these movies a little bit, is they can't. Sometimes you have to be humanized. Sometimes dialogue needs to be humanized. Walking Dead struggle with this a lot, where it's like every time certain characters talk, they're really preaching to the audience and not actually saying anything of relevance to the person they're speaking with.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate that. I think it's a really awful way to write dialogue. But people love doing that when I want to feel like, faux profound or like, extra intense. And that was Morpheus' character. Was every single thing was a fucking lesson.
These movies are definitely filled with a lot of people just saying, I know because I know. And that's it. It's like, what?
Yeah.
No,
like
tell me more.
Like the second half of the fight scene in the very last movie, when just before like the fight ends, Neo's like finally like coming around and giving him some more punches. He's like hitting him with all the like one-liner comebacks of like philosophical shit. Like, it's like, how are you doing this? He's like, Because I choose to.
Yeah.
What does that mean, bro?
therefore
Punch
I
in your
am.
shit.
Yeah.
But there is a good line that Agent Smith says there, because he's Oracle Smith, and that's a whole thing. Agent Smith, where he says everything that has a beginning has an end, Neo. Then he was like, why the fuck did I say that? And that's because the Oracle fucking said that, boy. And I was like,
oh,
shit.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
I took that as that's the Oracle like coming out with him at that very moment.
She
like
held out.
overtook Smith for a hot second and said that so that Neo would
it was all
know
part
what
of the
to do.
plan.
Although if I heard that, I wouldn't know what the hell she meant by that. I would have been like, oh, okay, I understand. So I'm supposed to let him suck me up and then we explode together or whatever.
Yeah, do you guys think that he knew that if he let him take him over that he would be deleted, or like do you think Neo
I think that was a
doing?
last case scenario. I think Neo went in there thinking he could punch him to death. But then he was when he realized that wouldn't work, he knew that he was plugged into the machine world.
He didn't even bring any guns. He didn't even bring any guns with him. Like, come on, take out give us like a cool gun action sequence of taking out like 100 of those Smiths. But I don't know. But yeah,
I do like the rain fight. It's
the most
it's
rain
very
ever.
over the top.
It was so
cool.
cool.
Yeah, it really
it's
is.
anime.
But
that's anime.
The whole thing with the Oracle line. I want to go back to the Oracle line real quick. It's like he's like, wait, what'd I say? What'd I say? And then Neo, who has been resisting you for the whole time, is just like, oh yeah, no, Smith, yeah, just go ahead and copy me up, bro. He's like, whoa. He's like, don't touch me. He's like, no, you said it was inevitable. He's like, no, okay, I'll get you. And then it's like, okay, well, obviously that's exactly what Neo wanted. Like,
thought he could go in there and punch him and win, and then
like Smith could have just not touched him. He could have just not touched him for the rest of time and like taken over.
And
they'd
just be
world
standing there forever.
Yeah, just make Neo sit there, like sit down.
I want that to be the plot of Matrix 4.
So he dies in real life.
It's been 5 years and they're just standing there still in the rain.
They just start getting food. Well, hey man, you want Chinese?
They're having lunch.
Bro, that's fine. Matrix 4.
But Smith is like, I mean, I guess since we're kind of talking about Smith, like he's kind of like the most important character, really, because he's the only thing that really gave the machines a reason to bargain with the humans. Yeah. Because like without Agent Smith, they would have just blown up Zion. Neo would have had. What was Neo going to do when he got to the machine world? They would have just killed his ass because they didn't have any. Like without Smith taking over the Matrix, there would have been no reason for them to even talk to him. So it's like that was he's kind of like Gollum, like that, right? Like Gollum was like the X factor that actually got the ring. He's the most important character.
Yeah.
To actually get the ring destroyed.
How do you guys feel about that, though? How about Smith turning into the end-all, be-all of the entire story?
I like it because it's like...
I'm fine with it.
If this is the 6th version of the Matrix, Neo is the end-all, be-all one. He's in love. He's different than everybody else. And because of this, they said earlier, like, the two of them are linked. They're the same person. Like, Smith exists because Neo exists. They're the same... They're the other sides of the same equation, and they balance each other out. So...
Yeah.
It makes sense that he's so important and vital because so is Neo.
I just think it's that he was such a good villain that like they couldn't really think of a better one.
He was a good villain, but then the second movie and the whole thing of him, like I'm fine with him infecting the Matrix. I thought that was an interesting subplot of like, oh yeah, like he's getting worse and like getting more unstable because programs get unstable sometimes. If they haven't had updates in a while, they start fucking up, viruses, hacking, shit like that.
It is weird that the Source can't just pull the plug on the Matrix themselves, though.
Right.
But I guess that's where he goes with the architect, where the architect tells him that the one has he has a piece of programming that has to go to the Source in order for it to be rebooted, which is whatever.
Stupid. A pretty bad flaw, honestly. Yeah, so like that part was interesting, but then it's like him getting out felt like a weak plot point. Him getting out of the Matrix. And like I understand it logistically of like, brainwaves are just data, blah blah blah. So we got it. Fuck, whatever. Fine, I can accept it scientifically. That's no issue. But it just felt
scientifically the Matrix is sound. Brian Williams.
I mean, it's not like I don't feel like it's a plot hole at all how he got out. But that mixed with the fact that there was a hard cut to an end in the second movie with to be concluded with him getting out, and then all him doing is just being a fucking idiot. And sucking
he just blinds Neo. That's it.
Right. Like,
he gets out early in Matrix Reloaded, but then he survives when he fucks up the other ships.
He doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Right. He just talks to a couple people.
He ruins that plan with the EMP shit.
He ruins that plan. Up a bit.
Yeah. But hold on. While we're talking about Bane, I think I mentioned this to you earlier, Oscar, but can we talk about the scene? Can we talk about the scene in the third one where he tries to kill Trinity and Neo, and Neo comes running down the stairs. She's like, "Oh, help." And he comes in there, and Bane is like, "Mr. Anderson." He's like, "Who are you?" It's
Right. It's like, come on, Neo.
He's like, he's the only person that ever called you Mr. Anderson. It takes Neo 10 fucking minutes to figure out that it's Smith in Bane's body. He's like, wait, I don't understand. It's like, oh, you don't remember when I shot you in the chest 7 times? Like, remember that
can't
before?
stand how Neo is supposed to be the savior of the humanity, but also the dumbest motherfucker. This man's supposed to be the first movie. This man was a world-class hacker, and he's like, "What's an EMP?
Yeah, right.
What's that? Who are you?"
Wait, my favorite dumb Neo moment was when shortly after he kills Smith in the real world, Bane, is that the guy's name?
Yeah.
And then they land roughly in the machine world, and Trinity gets impaled or whatever. And she's like, I'm over here, and he gets over there, and he's like, we made it, it's beautiful, like I wish you could see all the things that I'm seeing with my third eye, because I'm so open and I can see everything. and then Trinity's like, yo, I'm fucking dying over here. Like, wait a second, what? And the camera comes back, and she's got like 6 things.
18 pipes in her body.
And he's like, oh shit, I had no.
What made me mad about that is when he asks if she's okay, and he's like, I'm here. He goes, where? And I'm like, bro, you was able to see everything on this fucking earth with your third eye. Oh my gosh.
That just hard cut to this.
They kept her alive just to fucking kill her off in the most dumb way.
Trinity kind of gets shafted, especially in that third movie. She literally goes there, threatens the Merovingian, and then dies 10 minutes
just
later.
To die. Like, might as well just let her die at the end of the second one.
But also, I will say, Morpheus does jack shit in that third movie.
He just wishes.
He wears a suit, he does some gun stuff at the Merovingian's rave, and then he just doesn't do anything because Niobe pilots the plane, and then he doesn't do anything else after that.
I mean, but his whole purpose was to get Neo to be Neo, and he did that. Neo took off, and he's like, "I'm retiring, guys.
Right,
Morpheus out. I'm gonna see how this
I did like
unfolds."
that scene when Neo leaves and they say goodbye, and they're like, "I love you," basically, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I did think that was a good scene though.
Yeah,
I feel so bad for old light skin that was always just trying to run the military. And people keep being like, but what about Neo? And he's like, I don't give a fuck about Neo. We're about to die today.
Poor Locke.
And it's like, well, we can spare another ship. No, we can't, dude.
I literally wrote in my notes, man, Locke can't get shit done, dude.
I felt so bad for him because everyone was against this man at every single point in time. And he's just trying to do his best because he needs to protect the
more
people.
Ships? I don't know.
I do want to bring this up because there's a lot of more context between him and Niobe in the Enter the Matrix cutscenes. And there's one particular thing, because in the movie, Niobe, I do like, we'll talk about Niobe in a sec. I do like how they say there's the line where they're like trying to figure out who, they need 2 volunteers to go after Neo and Morpheus' ship and whatever. And one person's like, I'll do it. And then they're like, will no other man stand for this? And then Niobe stands up. I was like, that's a good line. And then a good moment because it's a woman standing up. That's pretty cool. And Locke gives us this look like, what the fuck? And there's context behind that in the Enter the Matrix because Locke goes to see Niobe and they spend the night. And then he tells her in the morning that her ship is not assigned to this plan that Locke has to do the EMP blast everywhere. So she was never going with him on that job. And so he's like, I want you to be safe. He's like, I told the council your ship is too small. Your EMP is too small. It would have no effect. And she's like, that's a lie. He's like, I want you to be safe. Blah, blah, blah. Tell me you won't go. And she's like, okay. And then that scene happens after. I was like, oh, that's a lot more context on that shit than you initially would know. And I was like, that's kind of really cool. I did appreciate that.
But like, let's be honest, she never really liked Locke. Locke was like the settle down option. Like she was still all about Morpheus the whole fucking time.
Oh yeah.
Like the whole time. Like there's no question. It's like, how is she even with like, and that guy's such a hard ass too. Like, what's like just sitting with that guy in a room? Like he's
always just brooding. That's just what he does.
Yeah, he's just brooding and just.
He's like, man, I'm trying to get people to survive. We're apparently about to die in like 3 hours. I'm trying to do something.
I was getting so mad every time he talked to that council, and they were like,
they're
we
like,
can wait for Neo for a little longer.
But what about Morpheus? Have you heard about Morpheus?
Fuck a prophecy.
Oh man. I do want to talk about Niobe real quick because I did like as I was watching the movie, I was like, man, the Wachowskis were really ahead of the game in a lot of things, specifically for a role for a woman, also a woman of color, and she's a fucking badass, and no one batted an eye during this because like the other commanders like you can't drive through no one can pilot those pipes, and Niobe's like I can because I'm the fucking best.
Yeah, that was so
and it's
cool.
like she does such cool shit, and the fact that she got her own video game that she headlined, co-starred. It's like no one did anyone have a problem with this back then? Did people like saying, no, this is social feminism bullshit? Well, I was like, because everyone seems to have a problem with that now. But
Yeah, I
did
don't know.
anyone have an issue with it back then? I was like, because
Oh
this is
no.
awesome.
We were too
I was
young to
like,
the
really
whole-
understand. But yeah,
what
Jada
the whole
Pinkett Smith
cast is-
did the thing.
Yeah.
But like once they started getting into like the the actual makeup of Zion, like it was a pretty diverse cast. Like I feel like they had
Oh,
like
yeah.
did they shoot some of this in New Zealand? Because there was a lot of like
Australia.
like
they shot all
New
they shot
Zealand
most
looking
of
like
this
all the
Australia,
military
yeah.
guys were kind of like New Zealand looking
Yeah.
guys.
A lot of
Yeah,
people
they
of
were all
color.
Boba Fett.
They're all
And then-
Boba Fett except for-
But they had a lot of diversity there. And like, I don't know. Like I thought the Matrix was always very good about that too. Like a lot of the captains
Definitely.
were, like I don't know,
That's really
it was
cool.
good.
Yeah, they spread it across the board, which again, I think that's why the Wachowskis were definitely ahead of the game in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
Do you guys
I mean,
know Ballard? Is he somebody that I should know? Like the actor?
Who's Ballard?
The guy,
again?
he's in the second movie. I
Which
should have
one's he?
looked him up. But
Which one's
he was the
Ballard?
one. I feel like he could have been like a musical artist or something. But he was like he's the one that's kind of like Bane's captain. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. He looks familiar, but I don't.
Yeah,
know. I
that's what I'm
can't
saying. He
remember,
looked familiar. I don't know. Anyway,
Speaking of musical artists, I did want to bring this up because this was a thing. Do you guys remember how Aaliyah was originally in these movies?
Yeah.
The R&B singer, the one who
Uh-huh.
died tragically in that plane crash. She was filming The Matrix when she died,
whoa.
so they had to reshoot her stuff and
I had
recast
no
her.
idea she was involved with the movie. That's really crazy.
Yeah, so I originally, and this is funny because this is like really early internet days, and so I went off of what people said. So I originally thought that Jada Pinkett replaced her, but
No
it
way.
turns out she was playing Z, the Link's love interest. That girl, that's who
Ah.
Aaliyah was playing,
Wow.
and then
Interesting.
they had to reshoot and recast when she passed.
Dang.
Which I think is funny, not funny, but they recasted her with that woman is Marvin Gaye's daughter. So I guess they just wanted an
Whoa.
R&B artist in that role in some way. Apparently, I was like,
Please,
what?
we just want some
That's
music.
weird.
Just need some
No,
soul.
But-
no offense to Aaliyah, but I don't think she would have been a strong enough actor to be.
It would have been
Niobe.
interesting. Yeah, it would have been interesting.
Yeah.
There's like a little bit of footage and like stills of her in costume filming, which was pretty cool. But nah, I don't think they shot much.
I watched those fucking movies that she was in. They weren't.
You
They
know, like
weren't
Romeo Must Die,
Man,
Brian.
that's exactly what I'm thinking about. It's
That's
a great
my
movie. I
favorite.
love that movie, but her acting, she's very Beyonce. She was very Beyonce when it came to
Right,
her
right.
acting.
But she was
where
also
it's
very
like-
young. She was like 20 years old.
Yeah,
at that
no,
point,
she was
I
very
think,
young.
Yeah. But I just want to bring that up real quick because that was a big
That was an
thing that
interesting fact,
happened.
yeah.
And the Oracle passed. They had a new Oracle come the third.
Yeah.
movie.
she died from
Yeah.
diabetes. I just looked that up today because I was wondering. 'cause I was like,
for
she
real?
wasn't that old. She died
Oh,
at
yeah.
67,
Damn.
but it
Yeah,
was
so sad.
from diabetes complications.
Gives new context about the cookie lines.
It's a different. It was only a different
Oh, no.
person for the. Oh gosh.
All right, we're not cutting that out. We're leaving it in.
Wait, they only had a new Oracle for the third movie, right?
For second
Yeah,
and
the-
third. I thought it was second and third. Was it just third?
No, she got all of her filming done in the second one. They switched her
true.
in the third one, but they did not get her and then enter the Matrix. They had to use the new Oracle for the video game.
They were filming for
Yeah.
a while then because she passed in
They were filming
2001.
for like a year.
She passed in 2001, so they must have got her shit out early.
I thought it was cool how they had so much exposition about the recast, though. Like,
Yeah,
they talked about how it was deleted and
The
it's a new-
Merovingian,
Mhm.
basically. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought that was really.
because I would have been fine with just not doing anything.
She just didn't hit the same way as the first one. The first one was like, like she was cool.
She was like nice grandma, and then second Oracle was like
kind
not
of
as nice
stern.
grandma.
Yeah, like she wasn't. Yeah, she was no fun grandma. I don't know,
No,
Right.
fuck.
but damn.
She gets a belt on Nia.
Oof.
It's crazy how much we could talk about this movie. So,
Yeah.
we didn't even talk about that freeway fight, which
Yes.
I will say is
Oh.
incredible.
Oh,
So
so cool.
Like, and it goes on forever, but
It
it
lasted
doesn't
a little
feel
bit
like it.
longer than I was
little bit.
hoping. This
And there's
time
so much
around. I was
going on. Like
"Is
the
it gonna-"
agents are in there. You got the the other guys. Like there's just so much going on at
The
once.
ghosts, which are
Mm.
yeah, they're whatever. They're ghosts. Who cares? Whatever. They're ghosts.
Yeah. The part where Morpheus stares down that Escalade and then just like flips to the side and then like it's
He
such
does
an
the
anime shot
sick
where he's just
samurai
like dush,
thing,
dush,
yeah.
dush, 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 in slow motion.
That
like,
was
blowing it up.
also
Oh.
anime as hell.
There are a lot of
Cool.
sideways shooting guns in this movie. Even the giant
Even the
mechs
mechs,
shoot
yeah.
their guns sideways.
I thought
Oh
that was
my God.
hilarious.
So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that big freeway fight, they built like a 1.5 mile long freeway to shoot that in California, and that's why it looks real. It's all real, like, and it looks so good, minus the CGI jankety of the entire all of these movies. These last
Yeah.
two, there's a lot of CGI that they tried to do, and it probably looked good at the time, but it's a little rough.
It was ballsy for them to do CGI like slow mo the way they did it, like close up, and it's like
Oh my
this does
god.
not look like a real person. And you're
That
like,
scene
yeah,
in
you're
the third
confident in
one
this.
where Neo's the slow-mo punch through the
It looks
raindrops
so
and it
bad.
hits Smith's face. I'm
Blah,
like,
blah, blah,
oh,
blah,
why'd
blah.
y'all do it so slow? The CG's janky. The Burly Brawl, where Neo fights all the Smiths,
Oh my
is
God.
a cool fight.
It's literally
But-
a bowling pin sound when he throws one of them to like, all the
It
other.
is.
I'm glad you noticed that. I meant to talk about it.
Like I think they
That's
literally got the
hilarious.
sound
I didn't
effect from like a
notice that.
bowling arena. They're like,
They
yep,
did.
that's
They
what
That's
we need.
great.
It was supposed to be funny. It had to be.
I love that.
But I remember like getting like a long like you know how at the end of a wrapping paper tube you just have the cardboard
Mhm.
tube. I used to remember fucking practicing that choreography or just playing around with that scene and just swinging at nothing as a kid.
And
Yeah,
the
that
music the
scene
whole
is
time is so
awesome.
sick. Like,
Listen, I love
That
the
is
Matrix
great workout
soundtrack.
music.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Listen, I listen to all those songs to this day.
I mean, yeah, the fight scenes in Matrix 2 are definitely the ones like when I was a kid, I would just go back and watch that's the one I put in the most to watch the fight scenes just over and over and over again.
I agree.
So
So cool.
and the freeway is kind of the climax. After that, the action dies down and it's just like, you know, they have
Yeah,
like
because then we talked to the architect for 20 minutes.
Boring as
oh.
hell.
And then he saves Trinity, which is cool, but he would have snapped her in half. I'm just saying, if he caught her.
I was
That's
about to say,
Dude,
Connor.
Yeah.
She would have got obliterated.
Did you guys catch that though? Like there was a scene, you know, when like Neo's speeding up, like there's a shot. I don't know why. I laughed out loud though, because it goes to Neo like flying through the streets, and then it cuts to Trinity and the agent again. And then it cuts back to Neo, and there's like 30 cars just flying in the air behind him.
Yeah.
And he's just like casually flying through this. I was like, what is going on? Like,
He's like moving faster than a tornado's wind, like pushing
Right.
all these cars, and he still hasn't gotten to Trinity. Like, I feel like I know
That
he's
shit was
going
far,
pretty
bro.
fast, but I feel like
It's
he
a
should have
big-ass
gotten there
city.
a little bit faster.
The action is definitely cooler in that second one. There's a cool moment in that third rain fight scene where because the music's awesome. I will give it that. That music in that rain fight, it's the choir is going off with the all that
Yeah.
crap
Oh,
is
yeah.
happening, and they're fighting in slow mo and shit. It's like it's
Very Kingdom Hearts.
anime as fuck, as Brian has put it.
Totally.
Absolutely.
It's the most anime. They keep creating giant rain explosion bubbles and shit.
oh my God.
It's so much. It's so much by the end of it.
That does make me excited about Matrix 4, though, because you can tell what they were trying to do, and just like graphical limitations at the time made it like they probably did great for the time being, but like what you can do now is probably so much crazier.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited to see if we have fights like that. I don't know if Keanu Reeves can be pulling off that kind of shit anymore.
I mean,
but-
John Wick, he would not nearly like that stuff, but he clearly likes to learn choreography and do
Yeah.
that shit.
Mhm.
So
I'd love to see it.
I'm really excited for the fourth one.
Well, I was disappointed because I looked up and they didn't even approach Lawrence Fishburne to come back as Morpheus, which I don't understand at all.
So I wanted to talk about that.
Maybe it's like a
since we were
secret?
talking about video game continuity and how much the Wachowskis love continuity apparently in their video games as well. Because apparently, Internet Matrix had a bunch of fucking shit that's canon. So
Right.
Matrix Online is considered canon as well. And an important, I don't know too much about it because it came out like 2008, and I think my computer sucked at the time. Or some
I
shit.
tried looking at it and I
Uh,
was like, this, I don't want
So
to.
Lawrence Fishburne dies. Morpheus dies in
Oh, what?
Matrix Online. That's kind of like how that ended.
Oh, shit.
And that's like when they took the servers down, that's what kind of happened. And I'm wondering if they're actually using that as real continuity for the fourth movie.
I bet you they are.
cool.
And knowing,
I bet
knowing
you
how crazy they are with their choices, I would not be surprised if they really are trying to make this fucking archaic ass.
That's kind of cool, though. I'll give
Like
them
it's super
that.
cool that they even thought to do something like that, but at the same time, it's like we just want to see Lawrence Fishburne and fucking Keanu Reeves
Yes,
back
like
again, bro.
it's like one of the most iconic characters of all time. Please bring him back. Like I don't.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. I don't know. I hope it's like a secret and they bring him back somehow because
Listen,
I don't know. But like,
All
I'd
I'm
be
saying is
disappointed
y'all
if he
better
didn't
get on
come
those
back.
private servers and take a look at Matrix Online if you want to make sure you know everything that happens in the fourth movie. Because
Yeah, true.
I don't know what the fuck happened in that
No.
game.
I might YouTube it later.
Like 12 people probably played that game. I don't know what happened in that game.
A couple more notes, real quick. I want to bring up. I do love that. There's a beautiful shot where they see the sky. You get to see the sky above
Mhm.
the
Oh,
last
yeah,
night right before
so
Trinity
magical.
dies. I thought that was really cool. As her last moment, she gets to see the world as it should look like. That was cool. I think the Wachowskis did this on purpose because they're nerds. But Link well, he's a new character, Link. His girlfriend's name is Z. I was like, is that a Legend and Link and Zelda reference?
Yeah,
Is that what that
absolutely.
is right there?
Ooh.
Interesting.
I was like, really?
I didn't even
into
think about
that.
that. That's hilarious, actually.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I don't really pay attention to characters' names, but I did catch his name was Link, which is cool, but I didn't catch his girlfriend's name, so that's really cool.
Real quick, because we don't. It doesn't matter. They shit on Tank in the fact that they don't even say Tank's name in these two movies. Not one. They say Dozer at least like 3 or 4 times. They never say Tank's name ever in it.
Yeah, it's because that the actor went crazy. I told you guys about that, right? Like,
The documentary that he released himself.
Oh man,
What
I
happened?
just thought, I was like, damn, that was cold.
If you want to look into it, it's called like the Marcus Chong story. He made it himself. He made a video on YouTube. It's like 40 minutes long about why he didn't get casted in Matrix 2. And they had to get like restraining orders and stuff on him. Like he threatened to murder them.
It is a big deal. Like he wanted money, or like they also like screwed him over.
They did screw him over, but like it's But at where he was in his career, it's like
they did him dirty.
Wow.
He fucked himself in the end.
But the way, how he reacted to it was also not good. So it's like, I don't know. It's wild, but yeah, that's why.
Unless anyone else has anything else, I can't, like, there's other shit we could talk about it forever, but man, yeah, these movies they went real downhill after that first one.
I think it would have been great, and I think I have a lot of issues with this. And I mean, I think the Wachowskis actually did have an idea of trying to make a trilogy. I don't know where some of these things fell flat. I don't know the way production was working, things like that. How much stuff they had to keep out of the movies because they didn't want to ruffle too many feathers or something. But I think this would have been a great just standalone, just the Matrix existing, and then you thinking about the questions of what this world is, would have been fine. I think it would have been a perfectly fine movie, would have been high regards, a very cult classic kind of movie. I think when they made the trilogy, it got not just convoluted, but it got, I don't know if capitalism, big business fucked them over.
I
but they had to
honestly
make it
think
too
they
actiony.
just wanted to put every idea they had and into these two movies.
Yeah.
They're like, throw vampires in there, throw mechs, throw an anime fight.
I just like
everything.
Yeah, I wish the last two movies they had just found, especially the last movie, I wish they'd found ways to solve the fight inside the Matrix. Like I wish there had been like, maybe even more crews surviving and you get like a bunch of crazy fights, like fighting agents and stuff. And then you got to get like, kind of like the second movie where you got to go charge like a, some kind of power plant or fortress or something to get, to beat the machines. It would have been so much cooler if they like solved it from within the Matrix instead of outside of it, because the whole awesome, like the whole draw of the Matrix was the cool fight scenes and stuff and the choreography and things. And yeah, the whole thing about reality versus, dreaming. But like, I just think that turning it when it started, the more it shifted into just a standard like sci-fi movie from the Matrix, the worse it got.
I agree with you 100%.
You can clearly tell that these two movies were filmed back to back, unlike the Matrix. It feels very different and looks slightly I don't know.
I disagree with Devin. I think that the third one for me, I love the first one the most, but the third one is the second strongest to me. I think the fight scenes in the second one are super cool, but personally, I'm really drawn towards the human impact and the emotional storyline of the third one. It really brings everything home and it makes things more personal. It is different. Like you can hardly see it as a Matrix movie because they're barely in the Matrix. It's all about like defending your home, like in the real life, and defending Zion and stuff. And it's just like Neo going in to fight Smith in that one scene, which is barely even the Matrix at that point. It's just like
it's some garbage can of the Matrix.
The anti-Matrix.
Yeah.
You like what I did with the place? No, dude, this sucks.
I think someone mentioned earlier, like, okay, maybe they did both of these at the same time, so maybe it was supposed to be one movie that just was too long. So it's kind of interesting to think about it as that third movie as just one giant long, like 30-minute climax scene of a movie. Yeah.
It
makes
a
lot more
got
sense.
cool. I mean, yeah, it's got cool moments, but it does feel like it's mostly just climax in that third movie.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to make like an arc of story with the whole Link and Z and all that kind of stuff, and it was like, but all that kind of felt, I don't know if cliche is the word that I'm looking for, but it's like I've seen it before. Like I guess that's why I'm not super interested in it. Like the Matrix was something I'd never seen before with the kung fu and the anime kind of things going on, but it's a bunch of white people. Like that was all very interesting to me. But then it's like I've seen big mech battles before. I've seen one-note love stories of "come back to me, I'll do it," And then he does.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen all those things
Right.
before, and I guess that's why I was not impressed by any of it because it wasn't
Right.
bringing anything new to the table for me. It's
Yeah.
fine, like as an ending to a series, but not great as like standalone-ish. Like, okay, this is a great movie from start to finish. I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a good sci-fi movie, but it went away from what made The Matrix great, and what made the
Yeah.
first one great is
That's
what they
true.
started going farther and farther away from. So that's, but like I still like the third one's a great sci-fi movie, but like I just think they could have stuck in their wheelhouse, more or less,
Yeah.
and just
I mean,
like
Star Wars without the lightsabers, like what it feels, it's just spaceship battles. Seen it before,
Right.
like
right.
like the last movie, we've seen it before. Like,
Rewatching episode 4, A New Hope, with the first Star Wars, which is barely any lightsaber. It's
Mhm.
like,
Right.
oh, just get to the lightsaber stuff.
Just when I see that part where he has the sword.
I don't hate them as much as I used to. I appreciate what they tried to do, but that first one is still just in a different ballpark than
Oh,
the
yeah.
last.
Oh,
those last two.
absolutely.
It reigns
But I mean,
king.
Matrix 4 is going to be, I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with the story for that. Like,
Me
where.
too. I honestly don't even know if Neo and Trinity are the main characters. I know they're in it, but are they the main characters? I
Oh,
feel like they're
true,
gonna try to
true.
pull like a weird reboot where there's a young person who's
I'm about to say
the star
a
or
young black dude,
something.
probably.
Make
I don't
another.
know.
Yeah, and just try to keep on pumping out Matrix movies. Ugh, yeah.
That's cool
Uh,
that Trinity's going to be in it. I didn't realize that.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are the
Yeah.
only two that we know that are coming back are Neo and Trinity.
Hmm.
Wait,
We'll see, though.
I thought Jada Pinkett Smith signed on too to be Niobe.
Did she?
Oh, is she?
I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
That's so
Is.
Maybe.
badass.
That's what I read. I don't know.
That'd be
but-
cool.
that'd
She
be
looks
really cool.
exactly the same.
That's what I say. Girl don't age.
So how funny is it that Will Smith was supposed to be the Neo, the first Neo,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
it didn't work out, and then so Jaden's like, so she goes back home at the dinner table and she's like, so Will, you totally like screwed up your career. You could have been the
Right.
one. So I just got to offer.
She's like, you fucking idiot.
I'm gonna do the Matrix. Like you totally fucked up. I'm doing it though. Like,
Great.
you're dumb.
It does seem like the
I'm gonna do this
Wachowskis
shit.
wanted a Smith at some point in this franchise.
Like we just need one of you guys. Who's it gonna be?
Has Will Smith had a video game?
I don't know.
I don't know.
There's
if he's
probably
in
a
video
Men in
game.
Black video game,
Like
right?
Jada Pinkett got a whole video game. Will Smith, is he in a video game?
I
don't
did
know.
play a Game Boy Color version of Men in Black once.
Game Boy.
Yeah, it was not very good.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
think there's like a Pursuit of Happiness game. It's you crying in a bathroom. or
It's
something. I don't know.
you being
Oh, it's called the Rubik's Cube. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold the door closed in the bathroom. No.
And with
Um,
that, I think, and
uh,
with that, I think that concludes our Matrix talk. Unless anyone has any final thoughts. I don't hate that I watched them.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got to be critical
I'm
about
glad I
this
could
because
watch
I
it
was too
again.
young to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, still
Yeah.
one of the most iconic franchises of all time. Definitely,
Totally.
mainly because of on the back of the first one. But we'll see. We'll see what they do now. If it's just going to be a money grab or not, we'll see.
Right.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Cool. Thanks, guys. That was fun. Let's move on to our final topic or our topic segment of the show. This is free for all for FOUR all title pending.
Free for all.
Free for all. This is
Four,
a
four.
topic segment where we just kind of discuss whatever pops up. It's very random, very disheveled in its structure. But yeah, so we can just talk about if we played anything new, if we have something to say that's relevant or not relevant. It just kind of happens, whatever. I can go first. My free for all was as a show that I started watching this past week. I watched the first first two episodes of a DC show. It's Swamp Thing. It's a
no.
show that came out earlier, last year, I think. But it was on the DC Universe's like streaming app, which I'm not buying because I didn't care. And there was
Interesting.
not that much to watch. But then it just, I think the CW just like got the rights, so they're putting the whole first season on TV. And so I've just been watching that. It's not bad. It already got canceled, so it's already not happening. Like it was supposed to have 13 episodes and they cut it to 10, and it's been a real shit show. But like the Swamp Thing he looks cool. He looks
Huh.
comic accurate, and it's not bad. I think they mostly canceled it because it was too expensive.
Oof.
But
Interesting.
yeah, that was cool. It's fine. It's better than it looks way better than a CW show. You can clearly tell that this was not a CW show and that they just bought this and are putting it on here right now.
Nice.
That sucks that it only gets one season though. Not even one season.
Yeah.
I mean, the rumor is that maybe since the CW is doing this, they'll bring it back. I'm just worried that it won't look as good.
It'll just be in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Yep. He'll be talking about his feelings about if he should ask that girl out, about why the main villain who used to be his best friend, of course, is like, not vibing with him right now, and how he might have to kill him one day.
It's like you write the show, Devin.
I'm not speaking any lies. Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Yeah, so that's my free for all. Yeah, Swamp Thing. Check it
Cool.
out.
Well, I guess I could tell you guys about. I watched the new Netflix show Barbarian. Have you guys seen that? Like the ads
I
for it or
haven't heard
anything?
of that.
So it's actually based on true events about a guy named, multiple characters, but it's basically about the Romans taking on the Germanic tribes that they were never really able to conquer. It's kind of where the Roman Empire started receding. Actually, that's not true because it happens it happens at the height of the Roman Empire. Yeah, I could go on for a lot because I'm a history nerd.
Loser.
But
is it cool? Should I watch it?
The show itself is very it was very well done. It's in German. So the cool thing about it was that I watched it with subtitles, but the cool thing is that the Germans would speak in German and then the Romans would actually speak in Latin. And then there's a few characters that are bilingual and stuff. So I really liked that aspect of the show. It was really well done. I thought it was took a lot from kind of like from Game of Thrones and stuff like that. It was only 6 episodes. I really like how Netflix does those shows. Like most of their shows, their seasons are 6 episodes. I love that because it's so digestible. Like you just do it and it's done.
It's usually always better too.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
25 episodes of
more
filler.
quality. Yeah. So I don't know,
Yeah.
but anyway, it's a good show. Mildly recommend it.
Mildly.
Mildly.
I will put it on my list.
I don't spicily.
You only
recommend
really like it if you liked history.
I'll look out for that. Well, I will highly recommend a different show, totally different, called Schitt's Creek. Have you guys checked that out?
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually just finished that this week. That was going to be my thing as well.
Oh,
Beautifully written show.
Yeah.
I hadn't really heard about it until maybe 2 months ago with quarantine. Everyone's talking about what everyone else is watching, and I kind of heard about it through conversations and stuff. Heard it was really good. So me and Bambi, my wife, we watched all of it the past 2 or 3 months. We just finished the 6th and last season recently, and man, it was incredible. Every episode was so hilarious, and it just got more and more emotionally involved. It just wrapped things up so beautifully, and it didn't stretch things out for a bunch of seasons, and kind of finished on such a high note. It was really, really well done.
So let me ask you, Alex, did you watch the little documentary afterwards, the 40-minute documentary where they talk about the creation of the show and everything?
Of course I did, because we couldn't get enough, and afterwards, yes, we'll watch 40 more minutes.
Yeah, that just made me just love it even more. Just kind of knowing that, because of course they everyone when it comes to TV, and that's why I kind of struggle with liking TV shows, because if I recommend a show or say a show is a really good show, I want to recommend it as a whole. I hate when people are like, oh, well, the ending sucks, or well, it got canceled, or things like that.
For sure.
This is the perfect example of a good show when you end it when it's supposed to be ended. You don't take any more money from people. Don't try to make any deals to make it last too long. They ended it where they felt right, and I think it makes the show perfect.
Yeah.
I really think it's a beautiful show.
It's a perfect show. It finishes everything on such a good note. It's nothing is. I have nothing bad to say about it other than it's over.
It's okay that it's over. I love that it was able to finish the way that it did. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to check it out now. I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to.
It's
also,
really good.
I think it won every single Emmy this past year.
Yeah,
it won a cleaned house this final season.
Yeah. No, the way that it treats things like LGBTQ, poor people in small towns. There's the way it treats so many issues in such a comfortable and nuanced way without stepping on any toes. Just really makes it, I don't know. It's a great show that I feel anyone can watch. You can learn from it. You can be a complete bigot and probably watch the show and be like, damn, I might be kind of a bigot.
I'm a complete bigot.
Yeah, it's the world. It's the world in such an interesting way that it's not normal life. But I don't know. I also recommend. That's 2 recommendations.
It's so beautiful.
Watch that show.
Yeah, I'll have to get into it.
Aside from that, I also just downloaded this Star Wars game, the Jedi Fallen Order, I think it's called. Which I've been looking forward to playing.
It's on Xbox Game Pass.
Time. Nice. I played.
That's a great game.
Yeah, I was playing some of it last week. It's really fun.
Dude, it's so good. Yeah, you just got to block the whole time. Like that's what I tried to hack and slash my way through that game. Nah, you gotta just
you're
defend
gonna
the
set up a
whole
fail.
time.
I kept like I knew going in that it was gonna be really hard and not what what you would expect. But every time I would turn it on, or every time I would die and go back into the same fight, I'm like, all right, well this time I'm just like gonna hit them even faster. And it never works. Like you
Gotta
just
smack
really
them.
gotta take your time.
Oh man, that's
You know what
funny.
you know what I really loved about Fallen Order is like spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't played it, but like
I have not finished playing it, by the way, Devin.
Oh.
I can
saw that one coming.
I can take my headphones out if you want to.
I hadn't considered that. Well,
Just give him like you could probably beat that in like a couple weeks, probably.
yeah, I'll just wait to talk to you after you finish it, Alex. Then we'll talk.
I feel like I know what Devin is about to say, so shut up, Devin.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know. I like that game a lot. It's a very cool game.
It is good, and that story is like Star Wars canon. In
Yeah.
the universe,
Yeah.
so that's pretty
Exciting
cool too,
stuff.
and it's.
I love how
it's
much
really
they
good.
talk about the Zephos, the like the first Jedi alien race, who they mention in the sequel series. I was like, hell yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was Free For All. Thanks, guys. Those were really good recommendations. I didn't watch Schitt's Creek. I need to watch that show. Yeah. So that's our show, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us for this time as we shit all over the Matrix.
Just
applaud.
me.
You guys can shit. I will applaud, except for the second movie. I will stop applauding for the second movie.
You can find us. You can email us at the Fourtress of Fourtress is how you spell Fortress. The Fourtress of @gmail.com. You can email us any questions and or feedback, or if there's something that we missed that you wanted us to talk about in the Matrix, maybe we'll read it in our free for all section as a question, and we'll read out and discuss whatever we wanted or missed or anything like that. You can also find us on Twitter at the Fourtress of, also spelled Fourt, and also on Instagram at the Fourtress of. That doesn't matter because all Instagram is all lowercase. But spell 4 like you would the number. Don't put the number 4. We're not. Yeah.
Because it's the four of us.
And yeah.
Thanks, guys. You can follow me on Instagram at AlexIsAnAlien if you want.
You can follow me at its_by_the_way. That's ITZ_by_the_way on Instagram, as well as Twitch if you want to catch my streams at twitch.tv/bythewayx, and Facebook as well at facebook.com/itsITZbytheway.
You should stream Enter the Matrix.
I should stream Enter the Matrix. Maybe I should go ahead and do that. Yeah, and play some games like that.
I would definitely watch that.
Boom. There you have it, guys.
And Brian, do Enter the Matrix. That would be hilarious.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I still don't know my Instagram tag.
All right,
but...
week 2. He did it again. Good job, Devin. Way to go. Well, you got it next week. You can try to do it.
Okay, I will tell you. I think it's like DLee331, but I will look that up.
That is okay.
If you really want to follow me, just search Devin Lee and just follow follow one of them, and it might be
follow
me.
the first person you see.
It might be me. I don't know.
Follow Devin around.
That's hilarious.
Wherever he is,
amazing.
we don't know.
It's great.
Oh, that's so funny.
Just put a different face with it.
That's our show, everyone. Thanks again. We appreciate it. We'll see you here next week in the Fourtress of...
Because it's the four of us.